Thank you so much for being here. LinkedIn is lagging really bad right now. It took it a whole 35 seconds to start. Um, so I'm Chris. This is So I Did a Thing Live. Thank y'all so much for being here. My guest today reached out to me and was like, dude, when are we going to do a collaboration? And I said, just as soon as possible. So we talked and got it on the calendar. And seriously, if y'all don't know who Millie is, then I don't think you're doing LinkedIn right because she is all over the place. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring her out. Hi,
Hello,
Millie.
everybody. I hope
How
you're
are
doing
you?
well. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Yeah, glad to have you here. Melly is all over the place. She's a very fierce advocate for mental health and ADHD. But that isn't all she talks about. She does a lot of encouraging, a lot of uplifting, a lot of trying to bring joy into people's lives. And she's just an amazing person to have as a connection. So I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for inviting me, actually.
Yeah. So talk to us. I'll let you tell about the ADHD Melly show. She started her own live, and it's been really cool to watch her journey into live streaming and how she's very focused. She's very motivated to get funding for it and do whatever she has to do to make it a success. And so that has been something really cool to watch. Is like whenever, like you are a hell of a promoter for yourself, and I absolutely love that.
Thank you so much. So the ADHD Millie Show actually is a show to promote ADHD and mental health awareness. I decided to start that because I realized that it was not a lot of people talking about that. Actually, if you don't know me, I'm a French speaker, so that's why. And my English is not perfect yet, so I'm sorry about that. So now everybody knows. So
Well, look, I was born and raised in the U.S. and my English isn't perfect either. So
yeah, I'm from Montreal, Canada, actually. And yeah, so I had a lot of time to find a proper work, a proper job. I'm actually a website designer. That's what I studied for. And now I'm studying in business management at the same time that I do the ADHD Melly Show, that I have clients on the website, that I work as a cashier to found my show because, my computer just broke and I had to buy a new one. And I was like, I need to work more again because I need to finance that. And I
yeah,
decided to start a GoFundMe to help me just pay all the bills that's around the show because
yeah,
I don't make any money on that, and sometimes it's quite hard to just because I pay for everything.
yeah.
And before I did the GoFundMe, I decided to do an Indiegogo show, Indiegogo campaign, and I raised $491. So that's very that was impressive. I didn't expect that people just show up and donate for my show, and I was so excited about that.
Yeah.
So the ADHD Millie Show is on live every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, so New York time if you rather, or
Right.
whatever, because the time always change now, the
Right.
UK change. I had a guest last week, and I was like, we didn't change time yet, just to tell you, right?
You're right. Yeah, they changed before we do. And you had let's say hi to everybody that's showing up. We got
Hello,
Loopy here. We
everybody.
got Garen here. Garen is straight up killing it in the live streaming stuff, man. He has a show every Friday called The Wish List that is just killer. Like his setup is bomb diggity bomb, man. Like it is awesome. Justin's in the house. What's up, Justin? Steven Rogers. Thank y'all for coming, man. I appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Thank you for joining us tonight. It's going to
Yeah,
be a blast.
it is going to be a blast. So tell us a little bit about, let's kind of start with how you got, like, how did the vision come for the ADHD Melody Show? Like, when did you know you wanted to start doing a live stream show centered around ADHD and just talking about your struggles and other people's struggles and stuff like that?
Actually, I didn't know until. Actually, you will find it weird, okay? I started LinkedIn in April, okay? I had zero connection, like zero at all. And what I did is I wrote a post. Like, on LinkedIn, you could do posts. I don't know if you can still, but I wrote a post saying my struggle because I was trying to find a job. I was so annoyed about my life, and I was so depressed that I wanted to move to Vancouver. Okay, I just wanted to go away, at least for summer, something like that. So I decided I'm going to explain to people that I found it hard to find a job or finding an employer that won't fire me after a week. Because normal job, if you're not good enough after a week, sometimes they just fire you instead of just teaching you or telling you what's wrong. They rather say bye bye to you than, oh, maybe you should do this instead, or maybe I should teach you to do it this way. No, it's like you need to know everything like right now. And when you have ADHD, like this post that I'm talking about, I'm just saying that the first day you feel so overwhelmed about the new environment, about the new colleague, about the new everything. You don't learn anything. I mean, nothing. Okay. And
Right.
you start to learn how the work like the third or the fourth day. You're starting to
Right.
just practice how the work works. And that's the problem because normal people maybe will be able to do everything in the one day, but I just can't. It's not because I'm not able to do the work, or I don't have the knowledge of doing the work, but every job has its own rules,
Yeah.
their own way to do it. And I think I am taking a little bit more time. And when you have ADHD, if you don't know what ADHD is attention syndrome. You are lacking of attention, you're hyperactive, you're sometimes lacking of focus. And even if you did take medication or not taking medication, this is your choice. But even if you take the path of medication, is not going to cure you. You're always going to have difficulty to learn or to just staying focused on one task. And when you have ADHD, sometimes you need a little bit more breaks. You cannot live in that open space.
Right.
When
Right.
the job is an open space, you cannot live with that because you have colleagues that are going to walk around you, that's going to be colleagues and going to talk at the side of you. And even in my work of a cashier, sometimes I have difficulty to count my cash and to end my day when there's colleague talking to other client, and it
Right.
takes me so many more time to do it, and it takes me so much more concentration. And for me, a work day of 9 hours, it feels like I'm doing 13 hours, no joke. Okay, it's very harder on the brain. It's very harder.
Right.
You get tired so easily. So I decided to create that show because I wanted anybody to understand my struggle, the reality of neurodivergence. And there's not only ADHD, it can be autism, it can be Tourette, it can be dysprasia, it can be anything that that is neurodivergent. And it's not only ADHD, it's autism. There have difficulty too to integrate
Right.
work and stuff like that. And it doesn't mean that I'm not capable of having a job or being able to provide for myself. And
Right.
a lot of studies said that people that are neurodivergent have difficulty to make the need end. They have difficulty to pay rent, they have difficulty to eat, they have difficulty, or they are less paid than normal person. And yeah, yes, it's Vancouver, Canada, Garen. For now I'm in Montreal, but Vancouver is very, very a nice place. I've been there twice, and yeah, I like it. And yes, a lot of people may be ADHD even if they are not diagnosed, simply because it's not something that it depends your age, actually. And if you're older person, it was not something that your parent bring you to the doctor you for that. They
Right.
just say you're a troubled child, you didn't listen,
Right.
you were lazy, and etc. They were probably telling you that when you were a kid. And yeah, so you can get a diagnosis from any age. I got Rosa. Rosa, it's a woman that was diagnosed ADHD when she was 40. So it's never too late to get a diagnosis, and you do not need to get medication necessarily, because there's alternative therapies. You can just plan better. You have a lot of things to just you can learn how to manage yourself, and having the word of what you have and what you are is going
Mm-hmm.
to help you just being able to manage that. I don't know if you follow Danny Trolley. I think that's how it pronounced. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah. Bannerman Dan.
Exactly. He
Yeah.
just learned that he was ADHD and autistic not long time ago. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, it's going to affect you and affect the way you feel about yourself, but it's absolutely normal.
Yeah, and I want to go back to something you said a minute ago. It doesn't mean that you can't do the job or you can't provide for yourself. It doesn't mean you're not learning, but it just may take you a different way to get there. Right.
Actually, yes, and you may take more time to learn. Like I
Right.
said, I'm doing a certificate. It called certificate in, in Montreal. It's like a 1 year full program, but I took
Hey,
like
Tegan,
almost
thanks for
3
joining.
years to do it. You know, it takes me more time.
Yeah.
I cannot take as much classes because of that. I need special need assistant for, like, I have somebody that takes the class notes for me because I cannot, my brain won't work on listening to the teacher and writing at the same time.
Right.
I'm going to lose it. Okay, I'm not going to be able to remember anything if I do something like that. So
Yeah.
that, so, and when I'm doing my exam, I'm in a class alone where I can just do my exam. I'm not like distracted
Right.
anywhere. So that's helping me a lot. So yeah, it took me a lot of time to just do that, but normally it's my last session if I pass my class.
Well, I'm sure you will. Hi, Linka. Link is one of my fairly new connections. Tegan's joining us. Thanks for joining us, Tegan.
Hello, everybody.
If you're not connected to Linka, you need to. She does some really amazing artwork and she posts it a lot. She posts her artwork. It's really beautiful stuff. Um, so tell us a little bit more about the show. You started the show not very long ago, huh?
No,
Couple
I had my
months.
first guest, I think, at end of July.
Yeah.
And yeah, and now I'm booked until February. So yeah,
Wow. Hey,
I'm I'm
Juana.
a, I'm about to do a French show every month or so. So I'm trying to think about integrating French language too and making a show in French. Maybe not the Fridays, but maybe another days like the
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday or something like that.
And having
And
French speaking guests on,
yeah, exactly.
that would be cool.
Yeah, because I'm going to have Jonathan Tesser. I had him. It's very
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
I got Chris. I'm not good with name. Anyway, I got a lot of people that are influent in the industry
Mm-hmm.
on LinkedIn actually,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. Reverend Jamal Marshall in the house, man. What's going on, man? And that's another thing that impresses me about you is you are absolutely not afraid to ask some of these people that are big names on LinkedIn to come on your
No,
show. Like you've had some really cool people on your show. You had Erica Rankin a couple of weeks ago.
yeah,
Um, she
she's
was one of,
Canadian too.
yeah, she is, and she was one of my original LinkedIn connections. I got on here in December of last year, and she was one of the very first people I connected with. And she is cool as a fan, man. Like I love me some Erica Rankin. Holly is in the house on Twitch. What's going on, Holly? The only person on Twitch tonight.
I also have Twitch, by the way,
Yeah,
ADHD. If some people want to follow me there, and
yeah.
it's the same. It's the same thing for
Mhm.
YouTube, for Instagram. Is all ADHD Melly. If
Yeah.
you want to follow me somewhere else, go ahead.
So has doing the show, has that helped you just in having these conversations with people and voicing it out for everybody to hear? Has that helped you in dealing with your ADHD?
It makes
Like
my
just having the conversation about it.
mostly it got my confidence way higher
Yeah.
actually because I felt way better about myself
Yeah.
and I was feeling like I was doing something useful with my life too.
Yes.
So that was very cool.
Yes.
And yeah, and for me, asking some people if you want to go to the show is quite easy, right? And
Yeah.
most people say yes. Actually, at first I was surprised that people will say yes first, but now they always say yes, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay.
Well, I
So
think
I'm not afraid anymore because you said yes. Everybody say yes.
well, I think a lot of it too is you have shown everybody that you're serious about it and that you're passionate about it, and like you generally want to have real in-depth conversations with people, not just about ADHD but all aspects of mental health. um, I caught some of your show with Erica, and it was really about dealing with the exhaustion and um, stress and stuff like that comes with being a startup. So it's not just the ADHD stuff, but you cover a wide range of topics inside the mental health sphere or whatever you want to call it. And that's a topic people want to talk about. It's a hot topic right now, and you kind of got in at the very beginning of it on LinkedIn when it started really becoming hot, and just kind of shown up and showed everybody what you're all about.
Yeah, and you don't need to have experienced mental health issues before anything. I also invited people that are working with the mental health,
Mm-hmm.
and that's important too. And you don't need necessarily to have struggled like I did.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be that much.
Yeah.
But I've invited people that are professional that just want to help people around
Right.
it. So that's as important. And I didn't want to talk only about ADHD because ADHD often you have other things around it. Like for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's anxiety because I got anxiety because I was always scared of what people will think about me because like you see, I'm talking too much, I'm moving too much, and that's how I am. And a lot of people don't like the way I am. Even at my job as a cashier, they always say you talk too loud. But I'm like, Dad, what do you want me to do? And I was like, they will fire me because I'm moving too much. I'm not going to get fired from that job. I think
Right.
simply because they do need people right now, so they're
Yeah.
a little bit less demanding than before. Okay, if it was like 2 years ago, we would have been fired a long time ago. But
Yeah.
now they will accept the people how they are, and I'm doing my job. The client
Mm-hmm.
likes me, so that's
Yeah. The clients like you, and it's good that that they've kind of learned who you are and learned that um, you're going to do your job. It may take you a little longer to get there. You might have to learn it a different way than what they're trying to teach you or whatever, but that you're still going to learn it. You're still going to put in the work to do it, and
yeah.
you're going to do just as good a job as anybody else.
Yeah, and I'm a person that is not going to stop. I decided to start a job as a cashier, while I have no experience, why it's a minimal salary too. So it's
Right.
not like I'm going to get anywhere with that. But at
Mm-hmm.
least it pays for the show, it pays for my rent, it pays for at least food.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I started Lincoln, I was like, I have no contract,
I
I have like
remember.
nothing. And I was like just 2-3 months of rent badly, okay?
Yeah,
And I
I
didn't
remember
pay
you
my rent
posting
for like
about that.
3 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like super panicking and stuff like that. And I was like, if I have no job, at least I need to do something with my life.
Yeah.
Uh, and now I don't have a lot of contract. I don't have a contract. I have one contract, wow. But at least I'm a cashier at a supermarket.
Yeah. I love how you've been so vulnerable about it and so open about it. Like, I never got like when you would post about being behind on your rent or struggling to pay your bills or whatever. I never got the feeling that you were just looking for sympathy. I always just felt that you were just being open and honest and vulnerable and just showing us all who the real you is. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I really like just watching you on LinkedIn, just watching how much you've grown and branched out and really like blossomed. Like you've come into, like you figured out maybe who you are or what your voice is on LinkedIn, and how you're using it. It's just been amazing.
And I do accept that sometimes there's going to be a little hiccup, like if you don't ear now. There's my big cat trying to kill the door to enter my room right now. So can you give me 2 seconds for me to open the door before the cat broke my door right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. Gotta love live shows, man. I was on a show with 𝙏𝙝𝙑𝙀 a couple of weeks ago, and he sits in a chair. He's got a background on his chair. And
sorry about that, but
no,
now
you're
it's going
good.
to stop.
No, you're good.
It's like he did that for like at least 5 minutes. I'm saying it's going to go away. He's going to go away, but he's going to break my door, just like. But at least it's not the kitten, so it's not going to do anything. Then he's going to sleep.
How many cats do you have?
I have 3 cats. I have 2 kittens and a big guy. It's the big guy that entered. At least it's not the kittens. Because if it was the kitten, it will be like the kittens will be in my arms right now. But at least the big cat is going to sleep on my bed and is going to shut up now.
They're just like having kids, aren't they?
Yeah, mostly the babies. They're 6 months. And the baby, I was not supposed to have them, but they were found behind the shed of my mother. She fed them for like 2 months, and after I brought the girls in. Yeah. So I fostered the little babies, and I'm going to keep them now.
You're absolutely right, Holly. It's impossible to watch Melly and not smile. She just radiates confidence and joy and all that kind of good stuff. So
thank you.
Yeah, Holly says she's fixing to send you a connection request.
Thank you. I'm going to check that just after. If I have to go on I didn't bring my phone because I want it to be like nobody just beeping me right now. I want it to be only concentrate on you and you guys.
Lincoln says she loves you even more. She has 2 cats, and
I have 3 cats.
3, yeah.
2 of 6 months and 1 9 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I have 3 cats.
Have you had the 9-year-old the whole time?
Yeah, I had a 9 years old, and I was surprised that it will be friendly with the kitten. I was so scared that it wouldn't work because it's very territorial, and it worked perfectly. The first 3 days was hell for him. He was always staying in my room, but after it was fine. Now he's playing with them. I'm so happy because it's very fat. I mean, he's very obese, so I'm happy he's going to slim down.
Put him on a diet.
Yeah.
I love your laugh. It's contagious. So, who are some of the guests you have lined up?
I'm going to.
Is that too much of a spoiler alert?
I'm going to check on my. I don't remember everything, and like I said, I didn't bring my phone, so I cannot check my calendar like I want. But I'm going to tell you that I had shrimp tea mishra last Friday. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have Rosa McBreen November 12th. November 19th, I'm going to have Dina Russo. Mm-hmm. November 26th, I'm going to have Florian Duclos. Mm-hmm. December 3, I'm going to have Kelsey Frick. December 10, I have Sherry Carpenetto. Mm-hmm. December 17, I have Darylyn Ellison. And December 23rd is my birthday, so I'm going to do a party.
Are you going to do a party live?
Yeah, because because that's my birthday is December 23. Okay, it sucks, so I have to do something. And January 7, I have Ellie Middleton, and January 14, I have Heather Louise Bassi that I've put on my calendar on my website, theadhdshow.com. I have to put more because I just booked 3 other person this week. So
awesome. That is awesome. Lincoln said she sent you a connection request too.
Cool. Send me a request. I like it.
So where do you see this going? Like, as far as like your show, and I hate to keep talking about your show, but I absolutely love it. I don't get to watch it as much as I would like to, because it's usually going on during my lunch break, which I have to go home, and I have 4 dogs, so I have to go home and let them out. so they can use the bathroom at
4
lunchtime.
dog.
4 dogs. Yep.
I hope you're not in an apartment.
No, but my house is actually smaller than an apartment. I live in a tiny house. Tiny. It's 384 square feet. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Jacob. Where are the snacks? So what is your vision for the ADHD Melly show? Have you thought about, like, is this something like you would like to pursue, like as a full-time gig? Get into something like that as a full-time?
Absolutely. Like I said, I create an Indiegogo page, so you can go see that if you want to, because my wish is to have a studio where I can invite the people to my hometown Montreal and go have fun, because now the frontier from the US is open.
Is it open now?
Yes, both sides.
Good.
But the problem with Canada is you need to have a test from COVID even if you're vaccinated. So it costs like $200. So nobody's going to go there for a weekend.
Right.
So for me, my dream is just that stop. But for the ADHD Melly show is to bring people to a studio. I want to rent a studio where I can make my show professionally with a professional camera, professional everything. And even if I cannot like have it my studio right now, I mean, I wish to at least upgrade my camera, because it's very a bad camera and I really hate it very, very, very bad. And yeah, and pay for that beautiful computer that I just brought.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to like do a very professional thing, always on internet, because for me that's where the people are. That's why I have a YouTube channel. That's why I have a Twitch account too. So every time my show is online, is going to on LinkedIn and those channels at the same time. I'll also, and it's also on Facebook, but I don't really care about Facebook.
Yeah, that's kind of my vision too, is to not necessarily take this show where I'm getting paid for it, but I'm starting to produce shows for other people, and I would like to have my own studio with a little bit more professional gear. God almighty, Jacob, you do it every time. Jacob gets on my lives and says some crazy stuff and gets me distracted every time.
Miami with minus 20 degrees Celsius?
Yeah, I know, right?
Are you freaking kidding me? But in summers, I don't know what is Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, I'm still in Celsius, okay? Like mostly of the rest of the world, I'm sorry, but
yeah, I know.
And normally it's like, I don't know if you can check it fast in Fahrenheit, but it's like 35 degrees Celsius. Sometimes in summer it's very hot and very low, very cold, you know? So yeah, it could be Miami in summer only.
Yeah, that is 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's pretty hot. That's about what it gets here in Texas. Sometimes a little bit hotter. That's what where's my cheese? It's Jamal. I was starving earlier right before the show.
Actually,
I found I found 2 packages of peanut butter cheese crackers in my desk drawer, and I ate both of them suckers. Yeah. Well, that is awesome. I love your vision. I love what you're doing. I love just how encouraging and how inspirational you are.
Thank you.
On LinkedIn and I'm not on Facebook either, so I'm not going to go send you a friend request on Facebook because I'm not on Facebook. But was there anything else you wanted to cover tonight?
Yeah, I wanted to say to everybody that are in doubt of a diagnosis, or they feel they are different from other person and they just cannot cope it, and they feel a little bit depressed, because you can easily have depression if you don't feel like you belong to society, or you feel a bit awkward in your own self, to just get a diagnosis, even if it takes time to get a diagnosis, but at least do the step of going to see a psychologist or psychology or whatever, a doctor for that. I don't know. And just go ahead and get and get it and get your diagnosed, and after you will be able to have better understanding of yourself and simply getting not getting fixed, because you're never going to get fixed, my dear, and never, never, never. It's not fixable, it's part of you. And like I was talking to somebody last week, I was like, will they invent a cure to just bring back your neuron at the same place? They will change you. It's
Hmm.
not going to be you anymore. So you will still stay yourself, but if you feel like you're not feeling okay and you have bad thinking, just please see a specialist and go see my show, please. Okay, go see it.
Yep, ADHD Melly Show live every Friday at 1 Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. I'll go follow her on YouTube and Twitch too if you're not already. Show her a little bit of support over there. Twitch doesn't really hold your videos. They hold them for like 2 weeks, but it's a good place to watch live streams. Sometimes it's a little less glitchy than LinkedIn is. It's a little bit smoother, and the delay is not as long on Twitch either. And then YouTube is just a good place to be because it has all your shows in one spot.
Yeah.
That's easy to find.
Yeah, follow me on YouTube.
On YouTube, yep.
And sometimes I do special videos that you won't never see, because sometimes I'm talking about books that I've read, that I liked, and I'm talking about meditation and stuff like that. I didn't do a lot, but I want to do more, and it's going to be exclusively on YouTube. So I very, very want you to follow that.
What are you on YouTube? ADHD
ADHD Millie, or the
Melly.
ADHD Millie Show, I think is more.
Let's see. There you are right there. And I am subscribed.
Yay! I like that.
Yeah.
Hello, Gabby. How are you?
You made it, man. What is going on?
Hello, Julie. Hello, Andrew.
Oh, Julie made it. I didn't even see that. Hey, Julie. I was just on a Zoom party with Gabe with Julie and Andy and Jacob, and Julie was feeding cows. She was
I'm so
honking the
happy to
horn
see you.
and calling the cows in. Yep. So, hi, Millie Moore.
Hello.
So, what are you doing outside of work and the ADH Melly Show? What are some of the other things? Did you say you wrote books? Or you're talking about books you were reading?
Yeah, I read books. I'm sorry,
Reading
my
books.
English.
Okay.
And yeah,
No, it's okay.
I want to write a book about ADHD and how my diagnosis helped me. I was diagnosed when I was a kid, but even then, I am born in '88. It doesn't see on my face, I know, but I was born still in '88, and at that time, diagnosis was harder on girls because girls are a little bit less movie than boys. They were still staying more in their place and stuff like that. Even if I was moving all around, it's still harder because the studies are always made on boys. Don't ask me why, but it seems that everything is on boys, and it's not the truth. It's not the truth. And girls can have ADHD. They can be autistic. They can be dyslexic. They can be anything neurodivergent as much as boy. And I hope that research going to study them way better, because it's very different on how they're going to act. Because you're a boy, okay, but girls always said, act like this, it's not girly enough, it's not that, it's not this. But boys they're just boys, they're acting like that because they're boys. Right. But if a girl's acting like that, it's not normal. They want to put them at their place all the time, and they want them to be silent. They don't want to talk as much. They just raise them differently, and they shouldn't, because girls need to talk, girls need to say their opinion. Girls are capable of anything that boys can do. They are different in a lot of ways, but it's not because a girl is turbulent that she's not raised correctly. Okay, it's not.
Right.
But if a boy is turbulent, it's just a boy. But if girl, it is.
I know, right? It's funny how
They
we
are
do
not
that.
raised properly. There's something wrong about the girl, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not it's crazy how society does that, but it's sad, but it's true. Well,
Yeah,
Linka had a question for you up there on
sure.
the screen. She was going to ask if you do meditations. It helped her with her panic attacks.
Yeah, actually, I do, and I do yoga a lot. Like you asked me what I'm doing outside of everything that I do. I do exercise. Okay, I gained like 20 pounds because of the freaking pandemic. Sorry about my language, but seriously, that didn't help with my mental health. It didn't help for
Yeah.
most anything in my life. I couldn't see my family. I couldn't see my friend. I couldn't see anyone. And when you're already fragile a little bit, it's hard when you're like isolated, okay? Because
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I got bullied a lot. I didn't have a lot of friends, but so those memories just come back, okay? Even if you pass that some time, it just came back to you and like, why am I alone like that again? Even if I live with a roommate, I'm just alone. No friend, no family, no nothing, you know? And yeah, I got a little bit very depressed. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm going back to the gym. I walk a lot, I read a lot. And yeah, that's mostly what I do because I'm so busy. What do you want me to do more, you know?
Right. What kind of books do you read?
Uh, Sometimes I read novels. When I say read, I'm mostly using Audible. I'm
Audible?
sorry about that
No,
because
that's okay.
I cannot stand reading and remember. Mostly when it's in English, okay? Because I have to use more concentration
Right.
to like read it, and I decided to just use Audible, and it's so amazing because I just listen to it and everything goes well. I hope my classes was on Audible. It will be so much easier to understand.
Well, if you're on Audible too, then you can be moving around and doing stuff around your house and stuff while you're
Yeah, if
reading.
you saw my house, oh my god. It's a disaster. Dishes is not done. Nothing is done. It's like, oh my god. I have no time for that. My roommate complained I do nothing. But where do you want me to take the time? When I have time, I just want to sleep, okay? that's why I, that's why I
Don't we
hope my
all?
that's why I hope my campaign works so I can stop that job so I can concentrate on ADHD Melly Show and a little bit more on my hobbies. I hope to go travel to US and I hope to meet some of you guys.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do in this winter. That's my I have to go. Please be rich. Because so yeah.
That's awesome. So you said Jacob, your roommate is your wife and your kids. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, with 3 cats, there's a lot of litter to clean up.
Yeah, I bet. That's what I like about my dogs. They go outside to go do all that.
Yeah, but you must clean it anyway, right?
No, I live out in the country on property, so they just go
What?
out in the yard and do
Lucky
their
you.
business. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have to mess with all that.
But I hope you never put your foot on it.
Oh no, no. No, not usually. I don't usually go out in the yard except when I'm mowing because I don't want to put my foot in it.
I guess not.
So whenever you come to the US, or you said you want to come to the US, like what places are you wanting to visit?
I have no idea. Just it's somewhere where it's warm.
I have a friend that lives in Ohio, Miranda McCulley. Holly lives in Ohio too, if she's still here. But Miranda always goes somewhere for the wintertime because she hates the cold. Like, so she
I
always,
hate the
last year
cold
she
too.
went to Florida and spent like a month or two in Florida just because she hates the cold so much.
I hope to go to the West Coast because I've never been to the West Coast in the US, but I've been to New York, I've been to Jersey. So the East Coast, I've been to a lot of places,
Mm-hmm.
but the West Coast, never. So at least I've just been to Vancouver, and
Yeah.
I've been to the Rocky in Calgary and Rockies near there and Banff, Jasper, and stuff like that. Actually, you'll find me very crazy. I've been from I've like in 2013 when I was like 22, I think. I don't remember. I took a plane ticket to go to Vancouver with no way back, okay? And I hitchhiked way back to Nova Scotia, and I've been to Newfoundland, and I came back to Montreal. So I'm somebody that's never going to stop if I want to go somewhere. So like you can see, I
That's
can
good.
take very dangerous paths if I want.
I know she does have a beautiful smile, doesn't she, Valerie? Valerie is going to be. Hi, Valerie. By the way, Valerie is going to be on next Wednesday. She's going to be on the show. She is an American Sign Language interpreter and works real close, like in the hospitals and with doctors. And I'm really not sure where else she does it, but we're going to learn about it next week.
That's cool. Yeah, because when
And
you have physical disability, sometimes it can affect your mental health. That's why I really like to talk to those kind of people too, because I really want. I'm trying to have a guest that had cancer, or at least she has cancer for like 10 years now almost, and she never know when she's going to be at the end of the journey. I mean the end death, because she's
right.
stage 4 cancer, okay? And she's always fighting to stay alive as much as possible, but it can affect like mental health, and I do feel that when you're sick, or if you have a disability that you were born with, sometimes it can affect your mental health too. And it's really it's very, it's not the same thing, obviously, but it's very connected. And I would like to have somebody that's teaching sign language on my show, talking to our experience too. So if you
Yeah.
want to go on the ADHD Millie show, Valerie, you're invited.
Send her a connection request, Valerie. I'm going to answer Gabe's question real quick. Gabe had a question. It was really more towards live streaming. Does the daily live streaming guide helping build collaboration and connection? I think it is, Gabe, because I've had more people that don't normally show up to my lives show up. Like Garen stopped by a little while ago, and so did Tegan Baritos or Burritos. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. I hope I'm not butchering it. And then because of that, I've also showed up to a few more. I don't always get to stay very long, but I've showed up to a few and showed some support. So I definitely think it has helped as far as live streaming. Have you seen that, Melly? Have you seen what Gabe's doing? If you're not connected to Gabe, you need to go follow him or connect with him.
I already connect to him because he always share my show every week. He did a big post. So yeah, I am connected. I want him on my show or being on his, but he never responds to me. So I have my message.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Yeah, Tim Sohn has leukemia. Yeah, and he's sharing his story. You might want to reach out to him. He might be a good one too to kind of help talk about the mental health around dealing with a potentially terminal illness like that.
Yeah, sure. I would like that. So please connect. I'm going to try to connect with him and see if he's interested, because that's what I want to talk about. Because I feel even if I cannot relate, my show is not about what I can relate. It's about experience, not.
And that's exactly like that was the exact conversation we had whenever you DM'd me and wanted to know about doing a collaboration. I was like, look, like I don't have any experience in the mental health sphere. So I don't know what I could bring to your show. And she was like, well, let me come on your show then. And I was like, well, that's a perfect idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Because I see that you use any, I mean, any person that are coming in your show, and I've seen that you had somebody that was talking about mental health like a couple of weeks ago, I think, or not
Yep.
mental health, but
Yeah.
breakdown, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it was ending the stigma. So I have another show I do called Ending the Stigma where we talk about ending the stigma associated with people who have been to prison. Because I've been to prison. I spent a little over 8 years there. And we had DJ Durante on, who is just killing it in the live stream game. She's a remote producer too, but she also, her show is centered around breaking the stigmas around mental health. But she's all about breaking stigmas, period, and has been a huge supporter of the show. So she reached out to me and wanted to come on. So of course I jumped at the chance to have her on the show. And she does that. She works with a lot of mental health people. Dang, I don't remember. She's like a social worker or caseworker or something. Isn't that right, Gabe? Um, but her show is all about breaking stigmas associated with mental health. So you might reach out to her too. I'm sure she'd love to do a collaboration.
She's often in the comment section when I do shows. I do know her.
Yes.
She's a lot on Twitch with the
Mm-hmm.
what is the name of that guy? But it's a guy that's always in the armor. I
Oh
don't remember
yeah, your
his
Saturday
name.
night. His name's Mackenzie McDuffie, but
Yeah, exactly
it's
this one.
your Saturday night on Twitch. I think is
Yeah,
what he
they're
is.
always together, those two.
Yep, yep, yeah. They're good friends. But she would be a good one to have on the show because that's her vision is kind of the same as yours. Just kind of break down those stigmas associated with ADHD and other mental health stuff. Yeah, DJ is amazing. Gabe, so much energy too. Like she is so energetic,
So
so
I'm
much
waiting for your
fun.
message, Gabby. I've seen that you will answer me. I will see that soon, I hope.
She's watching them comments, Gabe. Yeah. Let's see. Did I miss any comments up here?
I'm so happy that you are all here. I'm so
I
overwhelmed to see
know.
all those people there. I'm so happy that you took your time tonight to just be here and hear me speaking. I'm
Yeah.
thankful.
Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank
Does
you.
anybody else have any other kind of questions or anything for Melly uh, or me before we
Yeah,
wrap
go with
this
your
up?
questions.
Yeah,
I'm an open
open it
book. Let's
up.
go.
Yeah,
Let's
she did. She told me that before the show. She said, "I'm an open book, so ask me anything." Lupe wants to know if you're connected with Jeff Walliner.
Yes, I am.
Almost gone to eat. Was a good time. You didn't bring me anything to eat, Jacob.
I like it, Jacob. You're
Yeah,
really in the Christmas spirit right now.
yeah.
I like it.
Are you connected? Are you connected to Jacob?
Yes, I am. And
Okay.
at the cashier job, I have to bring some, the Christmas decorations. So my arm are so sore because I don't know how to say that word in English, but that long stripe when you put some light on and you put it all around the wall. I don't know what's the. It's like it's like um, it's like Christmas tree, like, but you have to put it.
Garland. We call
Yeah,
it garland.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah. And yeah, so it's similar in French. It's like guirlande. So yeah, so somebody was pinning up, and I have to bring it like that. So I don't think I'm going to like Christmas that much. So I have to do this tomorrow too because my arms are so sore.
Yeah, Linka had a comment too. She said her father grew up with schizophrenia, and the only way they basically treated him was to give him medication or close him up in a psychiatric hospital. Like,
I'm
has
very
that
sorry.
changed? Yeah, I know that's terrible. Has any of that changed, Linka? Like, I have absolutely no experience in that. Do they
I don't
treat
have
that different now?
I don't have any experience with that, but I will say that being close in a psychological hospital all the time is maybe not the right solution. But I don't know
Mm.
this case and how bad it is or whatever. But for me, what I read is the outside and we being with family, being with people that loves you. It's not going to cure you, but it's going to help you deal with how you are. And I don't in my head I have like in movies when everybody is in the in the insane hours. Okay, that's what I have in my mind, and it shouldn't be like that, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
what you see, representation of mental health needs to change too, because we see those people. I do have the same image, and that's wrong, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
the insane people that are walking like that with a lot of medication and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it's not necessarily the case, and not everybody goes in those places neither. Most people stay at home and they get medication. And yes, sometimes they do need to go in hospital. And I really hope Lenka that it didn't stay too long and it was for a short period of time and it feels better right now, because I really hope that for you. So please tell me how it is right now. And if you want to talk in private because you don't feel secure of talking on the internet like that in front of a lot of people, I do understand too. So please send me a DM if you want to talk a little bit more about that. And if you want to go on my show and talk about your perception of that reality because it touched you, you know, you have an experience about somebody around you that feel like that. So
Mm.
oh yeah, sometimes yes, mental health can very be bad and being dangerous for yourself and for other person. Yeah. So yes, an amazing surgeon. So what they did to you. So I really hope that now it's going to get better for him, and I wish him to heal well.
Awesome. Well, we have about come to the end of the hour almost.
It passed fast. I didn't
It
see it
did pass
coming.
fast. I know, right? Linka, I'm going to be in your DMs in a minute as soon as we get off of here because I would like to get you on the show and talk about your art or whatever you would want to. Or if you don't want to come on, that's okay too. Um, Not to put you on the spot in front of everybody, but you don't have to answer that right now. You can tell me hell no in the DMs. It's okay.
And I'm
Um,
very happy that you feel safe enough to talk about something
mhm.
serious like that. And I'm very appreciative that you trust us and you trust the community enough to share that story with everybody.
Yep, right
Thank you
on.
very much for that, because people need to know the truth and just not the mild case, but there's every case in this world, and people needs to know about it, that treatment exists, and we certainly wish for them to be well soon so they can see their family soon too.
And a lot of times, and that's kind of what we were talking about with DJ when she was on the show, is a lot of times it's just having conversations like this that helps to break the stigma down and break the perception that society has. It's just to talk about it because a lot of times people don't want to talk about it because it's considered taboo or
Hmm.
embarrassing or whatever. Um, but I've found, just in my case, as far as being a felon, that the more I talk about it, the more comfortable people are with it. Um, and I would assume that's probably the same with dealing with mental health issues.
Exactly, because yeah, sometimes I was a little bit scared of just talking about it at first, but I was like, nobody talks about it. Everybody think it's bad. Everybody wants to hide it, and there's a lot of people that just hide their
Mm-hmm.
problem in mental health institute. And I'm not talking about every case right now. Okay, I'm talking
Right.
about people with ADHD or simply autism. They just lock them down in a hospital because they don't want to think about it anymore. You know,
Yeah.
and that's very wrong. That's why we have the image of the people overly drugged in the hospital, while it's not necessarily the reality, you know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, it's not all like that.
Yeah. And I have a
So,
cousin that is they don't want to say, autistic people don't like to say they are like, how I can say that they are, they don't want to say the, you know, there's level of autistic. They don't like that, you know. Some people, they are capable of doing anything, and some people are not verbal, you know. And I have a cousin there that is non-verbal, so he doesn't talk, obviously, and he does not know how to explain himself and stuff like that. Is always in his bubble. It's like at 2 years old, you know, and now he's like 21. And yeah, so I've seen it in different case of neurodivergency, okay? And I know that it's not all gray, it's not all black and white, it's in gray section, you
yeah.
know? And yes, I do know there's some case that is more difficult and some case, but if you can talk to me right now and understand what I'm saying right now, is because you can change your life and you can change the way that you perceive yourself, and you can succeed and you can be anything you want to be in life. That's a little bit why I wanted to make the ADHD Melly show. I want people that feels like me alone and feel that they cannot do anything with their life to feel like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
And we will talk. We were talking about Erica. She shows herself crying on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That she felt depression, so that she felt like stopping everything, because starting a business, everybody, is not easy. Okay, you will be 3 months rent late. Okay, I know what it is. But hopefully, it doesn't stay like that, because it cannot stay like that. It will suck. It cannot stay like that. That's what you have to say in your head and in your mind. I'm so happy to thank you, Linka.
Yeah, it's not going to be like that forever, and it's
No.
it's going to be like this
Yeah.
all the time. Life is never lived up here on the mountaintops.
Mm-hmm.
It's lived in the valleys between the mountaintops, is what I always say.
You
Actually, I
just
don't
want
say that. I heard somebody else say that. I can't even take credit for that.
you just try to not go in the center of the earth with hell hills.
Right. Well,
You
those
just don't
lows.
want.
Yeah, we just hope your lows aren't so low anymore. It's more like this
Yeah,
than
you want
like
to stay like
this.
this, not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I love your
very
laugh.
expressive. Yeah, very expressive. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
can't
love
wait.
it. All right. Well, we are about that time. And like I said, I am hungry, so I'm going to go home and grab me something to eat.
Good idea.
Yeah, since
It's
you ate before.
certainly better food than in prison, right?
Yeah, exactly. Very much so. Yes. Yeah, that stuff was terrible.
What was the first thing that you ate when you got back from prison? I'm curious. I have a question for you.
So when I got out, I had a bunch of my friends and my family was all there when I got out, and we went to. I rode back with a buddy of mine. A buddy of mine drove up from San Antonio, and I'd actually done time with him. He got out exactly 1 year before I did. And he drove up, and he had a car that his stepdad had given him when he got out. It was a 1994 Honda Accord. Um, and so he drove it over and he gave it to me when I got out. So I rode back with him to my house, and we stopped at Whataburger, which is a chain here in the South, mostly in Texas. They have them in Oklahoma too, and maybe Louisiana. I'm not real sure, but it's like you ask any Texan about Whataburger, and they're gonna just start drooling. Like it is the place to go. So I stopped there and I got it was some kind of it wasn't the Hatch green chili. It was something else, but it was a hamburger on toasted bread with different kinds of peppers and cheese and double meat, French fries, and a Coke. And I scarfed that sucker down so fast. I don't even think I tasted it or let it cool off. Like I just inhaled it. And it was so good. Oh my God, it was so good. Oh. And then it was like one big long party over the weekend. Mom cooked a bunch of food, so I don't even remember what all we ate at home, but I remember eating that Whataburger on the way back.
That's a good story.
Yeah, it was good. Grease and cheese just dripping everywhere, like a good hamburger. You know what I mean?
Not healthy at all, right?
Not even a little bit. I bet it was 2,000 calories that I ate that day. A whole day's worth of calories right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was so good.
Yeah, it must be. I bet it.
Yeah.
I need to try this if I go to Texas one day.
You do. Yeah, you got to eat at Whataburger. They actually have them in Colorado too, because Nathan, they're fixing to open one about a couple miles from Nathan's house. Nathan Winsenreed. I don't know if you're connected to him. He's my co-host on the other show. So yeah, they're starting to put more and more of them in. But yeah, we've got them in Texas. They're everywhere.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, Melly, thank you so much for coming. Like I enjoyed this. Like this is the first time we've ever talked, in person to person or whatever. And I enjoyed it. And like I said, you were just straight up killing it on LinkedIn. You're just I love everything about you, everything that you're doing. It's just amazing to me. I absolutely love it. So keep it up.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for inviting me.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, thank you everybody in the comments. Next week I have Friday. Who do you have this Friday? I know you just told us, but who do you have this Friday?
I have Rosa and Breen. We're
Okay.
going to talk about medication with ADHD.
Okay, and that's at 1 p.m. Eastern
Exactly.
on LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube. So Tuesday we have Ending the Stigma. I don't have a guest lined up yet. I got to find a guest. And I don't know what time. So, but Tuesday will be Ending the Stigma. Wednesday at 7 Central, Valerie Boyer will be on, and she's going to tell us about what she does. Cool story about Valerie, real quick. One thing that drew me to her was the sign language, because when I was a kid, and I'll tell this story again next week, I'm sure, but when I was a kid, like 4 or 5 years old, the church we went to had a deaf church. So they had a deaf ministry. They had an interpreter during the service that would interpret for the deaf community there. And then on Wednesday nights, they had their own church service where they cooked pancakes beforehand and they had their own service. And my mom was real involved with that. My mom is not deaf, but she just fell in love with it, fell in love with sign language. So somehow Valerie came across my feed and I saw what she was doing. So I connected with her. And it's been really cool to watch. I don't engage with her as much as I probably should, but I'm a lurker a lot of times. But I always read her posts. So I'm looking forward to having her on the show for real. And then the week after that, I have Kirsten Granados. And then I'll probably take a few weeks off, maybe take off through the end of the year. I hadn't quite decided yet. With all the holidays and stuff, people are going to be busy doing things. And I hadn't decided if I'll take off the month of December or not. But anyway, thank you everybody in the comments that was here. I say it all the time. Y'all are what makes these shows so awesome, is all the interaction. Melly,
Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, you are absolutely more amazing in person than I could have ever thought. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, everyone. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.